I'm Keegan McCleary. Be free beast. The types of learning skills and knowledge I want from 3440 are that I want to explore the fundamentals of making a short screen drama film. I'm intrigued by most roles that we have a chance to play this semester. I'm mainly interested in being a cinematographer, but I also want to try out editor, writer, director, or even just an actor. The main difference between this course and other production courses I've done is that we are focusing on screen drama rather than factual filming. The differences between these two styles of production are that screen drama doesn't just mean the genre drama. It refers to all genres of acting that's scripted, filmed, and turned into a show or film. For example,
sometimes that shark, he looks right into you. Right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark? He's got lifeless eyes. Black eyes. Eyes like a doll. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living.
Obviously then, factual filming focuses on an unscripted reality as a subject. These are things like the monocle fogging documentaries of Rife and Style or the fist pumping jabronis of reality show Jersey Shore. In 3400, we've also been focusing on the pre-production paperwork it takes to make a film. In our case, we used Tongue Tied, a 6-minute short film script made by a previous year student. We started off by trying to imagine what the film would look like after just reading the script. I created a collage of photos and videos that I felt represented how I envisioned the film. I used pictures of wardrobe for essential scenes, how I'd want the camera style to be, and songs that I would use as an inspiration if I were to be working on audio. The next paperwork we had to make was the mark shooting script and the overhead diagrams. This is when I first started to understand how the paperwork was all related to each other, and you have to complete one to complete the next. I like this part of the paperwork because this is where you start to create the shots you want for scenes, the camera styles, and not only how you're going to use the camera, but what camera you are going to use. The next paperwork I then had to compile was all the shots from the mark shooting script and the overhead diagrams into a shot list, which is what it says on the can. This is when the paperwork started to go downhill. One positive is that I know I definitely don't want to be a producer. The call sheets are just a list of what's happening on each day, who needs to be there, where everybody needs to be, and at what time. They weren't too bad for a 6-minute short film, but I can imagine for a 2-hour length Hollywood blockbuster film, I can imagine that would just be annoying. From the call sheets I was then able to make a budget. Once again, not the most fun paperwork, but it wasn't relatively hard. It was funny that for the 6-minute short film a draft budget came up with nearly $10,000, even though it probably was a bit less than what it really would be. I don't have the best attitude towards the pre-production paperwork, but I understand how essential it is to prepare the script for production using all of this paperwork. Without the paperwork, there'd just be too much for people to remember. The mood board gives people an understanding of what the film is intended to look like. The mark shooting script and the overhead diagrams allow camera angles and techniques to be thought about. The shot list is then synthesized from these and is then in a handy list that can be put back in the back pocket and pulled out when needed. The call sheets are a crew's bible. It tells them what to do, when to do it, and where to do it. It also provides any other information like the nearest hospital or fire stations, and it also allows the budget to be written up. Without a budget calculated up and done correctly, nobody will take you seriously, and they won't want to hear from you anymore until you get one drafted up. Another aspect of 3440 that we've done this semester are these 2 Friday workshops. They went all day on Friday, which I know was a bit crazy, but they were very informative, and it was pretty fun having a go at all the equipment that we're going to have to use to make our own short film this semester. We learned about and got our hands on the new Canon C100s that the university has bought. They are proper cinematic cameras, and compared to the 60D that I'm shooting this on, it's just incredible. Andrew took us through a crash course on the basic settings of the C100s. Even with the basic settings, the footage you can get with the cameras is cinematic and made me keen on being the cinematographer in our short film for the groups later in the semester. The last Friday we just used the C100s on a tripod and filmed various scenes with them. We did things like having a sweaty prop walk towards the camera and the cameraman keeps the person in focus and in frame. We also compared using a handheld camera to the camera on a tripod while filming a bongo battle. These exercises were good because not only did it give us a chance to play around with the filming styles, but also we were able to play around with the C100s, and both of these will help us further on in the semester. The Friday workshops were good because it gave me a chance to think about what crew role I wanted to fill for our short film later on in the semester. And I definitely want to try and be the cinematographer just because I've always watched films and paid attention to where they've placed the camera and how they've placed the subject within the frame and the lighting. And I've done still photography in studio before, so I've dealt with a still subject and lighting. And I've filmed surfing and bodyboarding at the beach, so I've dealt with not being able to control the lighting but keeping a moving subject in frame. So I'm hoping I can develop those two habitus into one and then grow that throughout the semester. Anyway, thank you for listening.